All right, hello, welcome. This is AWD 1000 Web Development Technologies. I've never been able to understand since I've been here. I'm starting my sixth year, and I taught for 25 years in the Wisconsin Technical College system. And every year when we bring in new students like this, there would be 24 students that would start in this program and 24 that would start in our network program, the hardware program. Here, it ain't that way. For whatever reason, you five are it. All right. And they have probably at least quadruple that next door. All right. I'm not sure why. And I mean, we've had people go through the program, and I mean, I had one woman who left here on a Thursday. She graduated on Saturday, started Monday at 55 grand a year as a programmer. So it's not like there aren't jobs out there. But I don't know if it's the interest or what. I will tell you, at the St. Louis campus, they have two instructors. You know, I'm the one instructor here. We'll talk about me in just a second. But they have two instructors, and 3 years ago they had 36 people that started the program. They needed two sections. This semester, I think they have 11. Now, I don't know if it's because of the fact that there are so many places that you go out there that say, you know, looking to hire, $15 an hour, looking to hire, $20 an hour, whatever. I don't know. All right. So I'm not sure exactly why it is the way it is, but it is. So let's go through the syllabus first. As it says, the course number is AWD. AWD is the name of the program. It's application and website development. So anytime you see AWD, that's what it stands for. We'll talk in just a couple minutes about the classes that make up the program. This is the first one. All right, Web Development Technologies. As it says there, we will meet Monday through Friday. Now, pre-pandemic, the way it was here at Rankin, it was unbelievably, in some ways I've been told this is kind of like a military academy. Okay, it's Michael, right? Just so you know, and I'm not at a hog yelling, complaining, nothing like that. And it might be, might be one or more of the rest of you. Ms. Bruggeman, who is the campus director, she walks around and she'll walk in here. She'll walk up to you and say, "Tuck your shirt." And it's stuff like that. It's not my rules; they're Rankin rules. Yeah. All right. And one of the, you get two grades here if you haven't heard this already. You get a regular A, B, C, D, or F. In fact, we don't give D's, but an A, B, C, or F. And you get what's called a work ethic grade. And you get one of those every 20 days. So let's just say I told you that. You were like, you just looked at me and went, "Screw you." All right. We've had that happen. No, we have. We had a gentleman who came in here who refused to shave. And he was looking scruffy all the time. And literally one day, my boss, who's next door, came in, pulled out a can of shaving cream and a razor and said, "I'm not asking." Okay? So they will be like that here. All right? And Ms. Bruggeman will walk around. She's the campus director, and literally one of her jobs is to make sure that people follow the quote rules, unquote. All right. And if you're confused about what any of those rules are, the Rankin handbook is online. You can go out to rankin.edu. It's a big book, but they're starting to get back to the way that it was pre-pandemic. All right. I mean, 2 years ago, I taught almost exclusively online. Last year, I taught in the classroom, and I was one of the few who taught every day in the classroom. All right. And I did it because I think in a program like this, it is easier for students to understand if they're actually there. I mean, that's my feeling. I have not been told anything that they're planning on doing anything as far as going back to virtual or anything like that. And as far as masks go, it's your call. The assumption is made that if you're not wearing a mask, you have been vaccinated. I'm not going to ask because I'm not supposed to ask. All right. I got vaccinated in April and in May of this year, I guess. And so I will probably get the booster when it comes out if I'm told I'm supposed to do that. I've got three daughters. two of whom live around here and one who lives in Illinois. They are 31, 30, and 20, just about 25. None of them have been vaccinated. Now, the oldest one is married, and I think she's trying to get pregnant again. So I think that's why she's doing it. That's her call. The other two just tell me to leave. They just say, leave me alone, Dad, when I ask them about it. So it's an individual thing. So we're not supposed to ask. I'm not going to. But it is, again, it is Rankin's assumption that if you are walking around here without a mask, that you have been fully vaccinated. All right. And you guys, the two gentlemen that are right here, all right, Nick and James, they know because they were here last semester. Okay. They know that at that time you had to check in every day and get a band. All right. Will they go back to that? Not that I've heard. But you just never know the way things are going to work here. All right. Okay. So we will start at 8:05 every day. The way that it works here, I'm literally in this room at 6 o'clock in the morning. You're more than welcome to come in anytime after that. I don't expect any of you here at 6 o'clock in the morning. All right? But literally, if you come in here at 8:06, I'm supposed to mark you tardy. Again, that's one of the work ethic credos that they have here. If you come in after 8:15, even if you sit in here for the entire class period, I am to mark you absent. Again, that is not a Jeff Scott rule. That is a Rankin Technical College rule. I just want to make you aware of all this stuff from the get-go. All right. Now, I don't know with the three newbies, so to speak, if any or all of you were on the call last week that they had. Okay, but they had like a virtual session. I can see at least one had yes and one no. Guess what? You're going to see it again at 9 o'clock this morning. Hopefully I can find the link to it. All right. And sorry for you guys, because I know you've already seen it once, but you're going to have to sit through it again. If it really bothers you, just go down to the lounge. That's totally fine. All right. Okay. So 8:05, 11:55. I'm going to make sure we're out of here by 11:55 every day. There's a class that comes in here afterwards. They start milling around then. All right. And I want to clean up the room. Plus, I got a class that starts at 12:05. All right. And I'm going to be in the conference room for that class. All right. So this is where we'll meet for both classes this semester. This class and the one that'll be in spring, which is in C# programming, will both be in here, both be during that time. All right. All right. So that's my name. That's my office phone number. I will tell you, literally, no joke, I'm almost never in the office. When I get in here, I got in here this morning at 5:45. I did not even go into the office. I just came, I grabbed a drink. But then I came in here and I've been in here since then. All right. So if you want to get a hold of me, the easiest way to get a hold of me is to send me an email. All right. Our office is right over there. If you make the first right as you go out the door, and then you look to the right, that's where our offices are. All right. That's my email address. And I've got 7 to 8. Really, it's 6 to 8, unless I would really oversleep. That hasn't happened since I've been here, so I don't think that'll be a problem. All right. Program level student outcomes. I'm not going to read to you. All right. I think you guys would agree that I don't do that. Now, Thursday of last week, we had our indoctrination. You know, we had our pre-meeting and whatever. And with a lot of that, people had PowerPoints and they literally read off of them. I don't do that. I've actually got PowerPoint presentations. They're out there already done for you on my YouTube channel. And I'll show you that in a couple minutes. But I'm not going to do that. I figure you all know how to read. But if you look at the first one that's in here, that one is pretty much this class. All right. You learn web design. By the end of this week, believe it or not, you'll have all created a website. All right. And probably we'll even take it and we'll push it out where it'll be out there on the internet and other people can see it. Now, it's nothing that's going to get you a job, but it'll at least get you started and see the kind of thing that we're going to be doing in here. All right. Start thinking already, because you will have literally a semester project and you will get time to work on it where you were going to make a site on anything you want. Now, let's be reasonable here. Oh, great, I'm making one on porn. No. But when you think about it, If let's just say you've got your own business, that'd be great if you don't have a website. Or if you know somebody who's got a small business that would like a website, that'd be great. All right, that's the kind of thing that we're looking for. The other one that's in here is this last one, and we're going to look at this in just a little bit. Again, the two gentlemen right here, they've already got accounts out on GitHub. You will all have accounts out on GitHub if you don't already by the end of the day today. It's not hard to do. All right, so we've got two textbooks for this class. Here's the first one, Murox HTML and CSS 3. All right, here's the second one, Murox JavaScript and jQuery. All right, we are going to spend literally, if I have my way, the first 4 weeks on the HTML book. That means the first 20 days, that means we're going to spend 60 days on the other book. So you could tell it's not that, oh, that one must be 3 times more important. No. But the stuff that's in there we go through fairly quickly. In the past, we spent 40 days on each book, and then students didn't have a good enough understanding of JavaScript. So we made the decision at the end of last semester, we're going to try doing it this way and see how it works. All right? Again, I'm not going to read this to you. There's really about 4 things you learn in this class. I'm going to say 5 of them, but it's really 4. We're going to start with HTML, which is the hypertext markup language. Then we're going to go into CSS, which is cascading style sheets. Then we're going to go into JavaScript. When we go into JavaScript, we'll talk a little bit of jQuery. jQuery used to be unbelievably important in this class. Well, it's lost a lot of its luster in the last couple years. So we're not going to spend much time on that. Actually, probably 1 or 2 class periods, and that's it. And then we'll talk about a package that's called Bootstrap. And that's pretty much what this class is about. You can read all the other stuff, and that's totally fine. Here are the outcomes. At the end of this semester, so I think our last day is like Thursday, the 16th of December, or something like that. I don't know, but on that last day, let me close my email. There. All right, so on that very last day of the semester, or that last Monday of the semester, I gotta find it now. All right, on that last Monday, Ms. Bruggeman will come in here and you will do a course evaluation. You will evaluate 3 things: the course material, the books, and me. I'm not going to tell you a thing on what to do other than be honest. If the book sucked, write that down. If the teacher sucked, write that down. All that's totally fine. All right? But this is basically what you're supposed to be getting out of this class that's in here. So these are the outcomes for this class. The ones I showed you earlier is for the entire program. That's for this class. All right. Now, again, with the policies, they have changed this, as I said, around a little bit this semester. Good, bad, or indifferent, they're doing something new. And again, as instructors, we're not part of the decision-making process in what I'm about to tell you. But every time you're absent, that's going to affect your work ethic grade. Now, if you're absent because of COVID, I mean, if you wake up and your throat's killing you, etc., then you're supposed to let me know, not come in here. You let me know because I have to let Ms. Bruggeman know. And then they're going to expect, if you have any COVID-like symptoms, that you are going to get a test. All right? And all they ask is that you be honest. Now, notice here it says the maximum allowable number is 6 in this class. What they do is they let you have a day absent for every day the class meets. So we meet 5 times a week, plus 1. All right? Now, use those as you need to use those, if you're sick or whatever. I had a student a couple semesters ago, she said, hey, Mr. Scott, my family we've had this boat trip, this cruise. Again, this was pre-COVID. And she said, we've had it planned for like 5 years. And I'm going to have to be gone Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. She had never missed before. And I said, no, that's fine. I appreciate you telling me. They do want it that if you're going to miss, that you let me know. Why am I telling you that? Because there's actually, on these work ethic stuff that I fill out, they have 2 different classifications. One is missed, student did not let you know. The other one is missed, student let you know. And I'm supposed to take more points off if you missed and did not let me know. So all that makes sense to everybody? Again, these are not my calls here. All right? All right. Again, there is a link right there to the Rankin Technical College Student Handbook. You should always go take a look at that if you've got any questions. I mentioned the tardy policy already. 2 tardies equals 1 absence. Again, not my rule. So if you happen to be tardy 6 times during the semester, that's 3 absences. All right. Now, every day, what happens is I come in here just to show you this. Again, you may not care, which is totally fine. And if I can find it, because I got so darn much stuff open. Let's see. There it is. So every day I have to come in here. This is my inside Rankin, which looks different than yours does. But I log in, and then once I log in, I go to academics. I go to this class. I go to attendance. And guess what? You're all here. So I click the button and says save. Okay? Now, then the next thing I do is I immediately take a picture of this, and I save this because in the past, I have sent these in, and there's been problems with Rankin software where they say, you didn't do this. So I send them back the picture and go, yes, I did. All right. So I'm just kind of protecting myself. So if I go out here and put in paint, so I've got that. All right. And I've got to do that for every day. So, if we look in here, I'll just grab Nick's here. And this is the entire semester. That's all 80 days. You should be able to go in on any day and see your own record. In addition, every 20 days, I try to meet with you. I give you a copy of your attendance record. I give you a copy of, how you've done on homeworks. I give you a copy on how you've done on tests, etc. So you should know at any time exactly where you stand. Okay? All right. Now it says here, students will be allowed to make up reasonable academic work. I mean, if you miss and we have a test and you're literally sick, don't come in. All right? We will work something out. I'm not worried about that. You will have 2 types of tests in here. You will have written tests and you will have hands-on tests. The written tests, by and large, and again, these guys disagree with me if you want, if you were to do them in class, take you about 10 or 15 minutes to do. Although I give you up to an hour if you need it, okay? The hands-on tests, you get the entire period. So you get all 4 hours, 3 hours and 50 minutes. Hands-on tests, you can use books, you can use anything you want. I'm supposed to walk around because if I gave you, this, you won't do something like this. But let's say I gave you a test that said, use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and build a calculator. That won't be one of your tests, but let's just say it was. Well, I'm supposed to walk around because if one of you Googles how to make a calculator with, I'm supposed to say, no, that's not the way you're supposed to do that. All right? I don't like to be a hard guy. I know Mr. Corrigan does a much better job than I do of walking around and making sure people aren't doing things they shouldn't do. Maybe it's wrong, but I tend to trust people till you give me a reason not to. All right. Academic honesty, it's assuming you won't cheat. You won't cheat, you won't help others cheat. Period. Here's the grading. And again, the only thing I'll tell you is if you happen to fall into here, you don't pass. All right? The way that this works is this is a first semester class. The class you take second semester, which is the C# programming class, these 2 have taken already. You may find, now, so there'll be 3 of you here in spring then. There may be more people who may add starting in spring. These 2 will be in the actual 4th semester class in spring. Then they've got to come back next semester in fall and take the 3rd semester class with you guys. So that's how it works. So a lot of times the numbers will get kind of funky, is what I'm telling you. All right. But the way that they've got it set up here is if you don't get at least a 74.5, you fail. All right. So what I'm telling you is even if you had a 70, or let's say a 70, it would not go in the book as a D. It would go in the book as an F. All right. All right. This is a workload table, so they're talking about how much time you should imagine that you're going to spend on things. It's different with everybody. I'm not going to ask you to, but my guess is you were able to do a lot of your work last semester here. But that said, you may have had to have done some of your work at home. I've had people who've told me I never have to do any work outside of this class. I've had people who've told me I've got to do a heck of a lot of work outside of this class. It just depends on you. All right. I try to set my classes up so when you look at it, if we meet roughly 40 hours or 4 hours a day, it's 3 hours and 50 minutes, but roughly 4 hours, 80 days, 320 hours. I try to gauge it so 160 hours it's lecture and 160 hours it's lab. All right. I try to set it up that way as best I possibly can. All right. All right. We talked a little bit about the, have you all gotten into Inside Rankin? Has everybody done that? I know that you guys didn't even have emails up until a couple days ago. And you're Donald here, yeah. Right? Yeah, because I've been sending stuff. I send it to your Gmail. Yeah, and I went and talked to Patrick, and he's like, Jeff, they just registered. And I thought, no, he's registered more than a week ago. But sometimes they do things faster than other times here. You should all have a Rankin email now. And another thing, just if you haven't been told this, and you might, because again, in a half an hour, you're going to have this meeting. But if we go over to here, where is it? I'm not even sure where it is in here, but when you go in, let's just try it like this. Of course not. All right. But someplace that's in here, and it might be under notifications, it might be under one of these, and you'll see it. But there is, in fact, it probably is here. You should go to your notifications if you have not done so, and you should click the notification sign up. Rankin does not let you know if classes have been canceled. If we get an ice storm, we get a snowstorm, or whatever. And it's happened a couple times in the last few years. All right. But I'd hate to see you come out here, especially if you're coming from any distance. But you won't see it. Typically, they put it on the regular website too, but not always. But if you sign up in here for that, I think it lasts for a year, and then they make you sign up again. But they will text you, they will email you, they will do either or both, depending on what you want. All right? So you really should do that as soon as you possibly can. All right. General college information. Am I right in assuming that all 5 of you in here know where the other building is here? Okay. And if you walk into that other building, if you haven't done so already, you walk in there and you make a right almost immediately, and then look to the right. Those are Patrick and Brandon's offices. Now, I've got in here, if you've got any questions on anything, contact Patrick. And it's not that, hey, Brandon's a great guy. I like Brandon. But one of Brandon's jobs is to go out to the high schools and try to recruit people. So Patrick is in there almost 40 hours a week, where Brandon is probably in there a little bit less. But either one of them can help you. All right. If you decide, if we get into this, hey, I really need a tutor, let me know. I'll get you one. There's no cost to you. All right. And tutors get paid. All right. And last semester I had people who were getting tutored. And you can do it virtual. So you can do it electronically. You can do it in here. I've got one of my second-year students, all right, Gabriel, who a couple of you guys know, and he tutored people last semester, and I'm going to ask him, but my guess is he probably will this semester too. So he can come in here during class time too. All right. All right. If you've got any kind of disability, I don't like that word, but it's one, they put it in here. All right. So if you're challenged in any way, what does that mean? Well, if you've got ADHD or something like that, or you just really, you need more time for tests. All right. I mean, I literally had a student who graduated from here about 4 years ago, and he had all sorts of issues. All right. And he got through. Now, I'm not going to lie to you either. He got through with 4 C's in the 4 core courses. All right. There probably were not places lining up for him. I know he's working. I'm just not sure where. All right. But if you've got that, let me know. I will tell you that as far as the tests go, the hands-on tests, they give you 4 hours. And they assume that anyone can do these tests in 4 hours. What you'll probably find is when we have the first test or two in here, you might finish it in an hour. And that's totally fine. All right. But you get up to 4 hours if you need it. We've dedicated the whole class period to that. All right. Also, and this is something I really got to hammer on my students this afternoon, the second year students. Rankin does have a career services. There's a thing that if you go out, you can sign up for it now, even if you just started today. It's called Rankin Connection. All right. Janie Summers is the woman who handles all this stuff. And if you sign up for it, anytime she gets job postings, she puts them out there and you get an email on them. Right? In addition, if you don't know this, twice a year here and at St. Louis and at Perryville, there are job fairs. All right, there will be a job fair here probably either at the end of October or the beginning of November. The bad thing is they have the job fair in the morning. And the reason I say that's a bad thing is most of the people who are a second year are in the afternoon. So what you all get to do is you all get to go to the job fair. You're not asked. You all get to go to the job fair. All right? Me too. Because they like to have a lot of people in there. Now, unfortunately for the one here, they probably get about 50 companies. And it's in the other building. But there's probably only about 2 or 3 that are IT, related to this program. Now, at the St. Louis campus, they put it in their automotive center, which is about 4 football fields long. And they usually get 300 to 500 companies in there. All right. And they usually have somewhere between 10 and 50 companies that are IT related. All right. You're welcome to go to those. If even if you're first semester, you can go all 4 semesters. All right. And if you say, well, I'd like to go, but I don't know if I can make it to the St. Louis campus, I talked to Ms. Bruggeman. Rankin actually has one of those little mini buses that they can hold about 15 people in, and she's driven it down there before and taken people down there. All right. Okay. I told you about signing up for these snow days, and it's really interesting. This was before my time here, but from what I hear, they used to let St. Louis dictate whether or not there were classes. So about 6 years ago, St. Louis got a big snowstorm, and we got nothing here. And they called school at every campus. And students were coming in here, there were just literally flakes. Nope, can't have class today. All right, all right. Unless you are advised otherwise, you should assume that classes will be held. Now, I'm not going to go over every day of this because this is 80 days. All right, but notice in here, if you look, I've got today, Lecture Lab Chapter 1, tomorrow Lecture Lab Chapter 2, etc. Guess what? If it's up to me, I don't really want to do it that much like that. And what I mean is, I'd like to kind of put the lectures as much as possible on one day, and then have 4 days where we could do stuff. Because if we do that, we'll probably spend, out of those 4 days, 2 of them doing stuff together, and then you'll have 2 days to work on your homework. All right, I think it works out better like that. I can come in here and talk for an hour every morning. That's not a problem. All right, but I think it's, the other thing too is I like the lectures to be interactive. In other words, I'll lecture out of the book, yeah, but we'll be doing something. Because I think when you see it, it makes a lot more sense. All right. So you can read the stuff that's in here. Notice there are due dates, etc. Now, what will happen, I haven't done it yet, but it probably will be something that I'll do this weekend. But when I go out onto my thing here, and I go out to here, all right, let's see. And I'm not picking on you, but let's see, I'll just grab in here. Nick, hopefully that's okay that I'm doing this, but he'll be able to come in here. There's his attendance and stuff, but what's going to happen is you'll be able to go in there and see every assignment and how you did on it. You'll be able to go in for the grade book at any time. Now, right now, you can see I haven't done much as far as filling it out. So I've got to go out and do that. This is stuff, I copied this from a year ago. This is a little bit dated. So I'm going to have to go in there and clean that up. So if you looked at it already, oh, okay. No, it will be cleaned up because we've got a new edition. This book right here is a new edition, and it's a little bit different than the old edition was. So some of the stuff that was in the old edition is no longer relevant. All right? But the idea is anytime if you say, hey, how am I doing in here? Okay? And let's say it's 2 weeks from now and you've had a couple, no, not a couple tests, one test and a couple assignments. All right? And one or more of you has done nothing. You didn't come in for the test day, you didn't do the assignments. Then what I have to do is I have to send these early alert messages. And then what's going to happen is one of the counselors that's here is going to come in and talk to you. You know, they don't yell at you or anything, but they just say, is, you know, everything okay? Is there anything we can do, etc. type of thing. All right. And again, it's called early alert for a reason, because they want to find out early in the process. I mean, it's not, please note that you marked everyone. Oh, okay. She said I marked everybody absent today. I clicked the wrong button. So that's how alert Ms. Bruggeman is. Not how alert I am, but how alert she is. Yep, she's right, I did. All right. So, edit, saved entries. There we go. Present. It used to be present was the default. Now, maybe this is just me, and thank you, Ms. Bruggeman. Wouldn't you assume that people are here? That's what I'd assume as the default. But it's been fixed. All right, I'll talk to her during the break. Okay. So, are there any questions on this, on what we've gone over so far? I mean, this is your chance to ask. All right. Now, it is possible, I know Ms. Bruggeman will be at least walking by here. She may end up saying, you know what, Jeff, you've got 5 people. I'd like them all in here or up there. So I don't care that you guys are there. It doesn't bother me a bit. These two are right where they were last year. And, you know, we had about the same number of people. I never said anything. But if they do say some stuff, then I will ask you to move. All right? Now, I know with Mr. Corrigan, he had somebody walk in because I needed a password from him this morning. He's got a seating chart. I don't do that. He's already told me, oh, you should get a seating chart. I don't think, with this number of people, it won't be that hard to learn your names. Mason Michael Donald. Nicholas James. Okay, I think I'm pretty much there already. All right? That's why, but I understand him doing that. I do. Plus, what he does in there is he quite often has two people work on a machine at the same time. And he'll switch his seating chart around like every few weeks so people get used to working with other people. I have no problem. I mean, I think that's great that he does that. All right, that's just not the way I do things. But, you know, if it works for him, that's great. All right. Couple more things that I want to mention, because, again, we've got 20 minutes, and then we're going to have this thing online, okay? So the first thing, everybody in here can do this, even you two. What I'd like all of you to do right now, if you've got your computer with you, and hopefully you do, all right, is, yes, sir? Yeah, I didn't bring it today, I apologize. Okay, no, that's okay. But what I'm going to tell you right now, again, I'm taping this, so if it helps, you can take a look at it at home or whatever. What I'm about to show you, you can do from home. All right? That's not what I want. There we go. All right. We want to download Visual Studio Code. That's the editor that we're going to be using in here. So let me show you where that URL is, where you can all at least read it. Make it nice and big. Do I know what the Rankin Wi-Fi password is?
Are we supposed to use the guest one?
Yes, if you use Rankin guest, there shouldn't be a pass.
Okay.
There shouldn't be one.
Okay.
Yeah.
One small question. For the alert thing?
Yes.
To Perryville, St. Louis, and are we west?
We're Wentzville. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't. There's no Wentzville.
Oh, west. Okay, I guess now we are. They're also they're in the middle of they're building another campus out near Troy, and they supposedly have bought land someplace between St. Louis and Perryville where they're going to build another one. That's rumor. I don't know if that's true or not. West, I guess.
Just west. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Now, what I'm going to do, I've already got this loaded. Okay? But I'm going to remove it and reload it, and reinstall it with you guys. All right? And I mean, you'll be probably amazed at how easy it is. So let me go out to my control panel, and I'm going to remove, so there, programs and features. If I look in here, someplace in here will be Visual Studio Code, at least I thought it was. Maybe I've already removed it, I don't know. Visual Studio, there it is. All right, so there it is, and I'm going to uninstall it right away. Are you sure? Yeah, that's fine. And probably it takes longer to uninstall it than it will for us to install it. So you saw how long that took. All right, it's different with everybody, but I don't think that's going to be any kind of problem. So you can see now if you're looking here, I no longer have Visual Studio Code. All right, so again, Mason, you know, this is where you'll want to go out to. You won't have to type in this. You can, but you don't need that. You can just type in code.visualstudio.com, just that, and there's a download link right there. All right. So it's also smart enough. It says, okay, what do you want here? Well, I'm going to recommend that you just click right here where it says Windows, right there. Now, the other thing I'm going to recommend in here is, if it was up to me, the words Internet Explorer would be removed from the English language. All right? And I'm not a big fan of Edge either, but if you like Edge, it's totally fine. I'm going to recommend that the browser of choice in here will be Chrome. Now, if you disagree with that, or if you really say, I really like Firefox, by all means use it. All right? I don't try to force what I want on anybody. I'm just telling you that the ones that have seem to work the best are Visual Studio Code, which is what we're about to download, and Chrome. Now, there are other browsers out there too. In fact, one of the books that we have will talk about some of the other browsers. If we start working with this and you say, geez, I looked and there's another browser here, I'd rather use that, then use that. You're going to find that shortcuts and stuff that we do, you'll have to do it differently. All right. So I'm going to click here where it says Windows. And mine, the way that mine works is it puts it down here. Using Chrome, usually that's what it does. All right. And I'm going to right mouse click on it and choose Open. All right. Now, when you do this, it may come up before you even get this or after this, and it may ding and say you need administrator permissions, even if it's your machine. Sometimes when I install software, it tells me that. Sometimes it doesn't. All right, if it does, just say that's fine. You have to accept the agreement. So you click the top one there that says accept the agreement, and you click next. And this says, where do you want to install it? Well, the default is fine in my opinion. If you've got someplace you really install everything that's not in the, quote, normal place, unquote, then change it. So I'm going to go next. And then it says the start menu folder, that's fine. I'm just going to keep all the defaults. Now, I will really recommend on here that whether you want a desktop icon is up to you, but you want these two, the add open with code, because what that'll allow you to do is once we create a folder, you can just right mouse click on the folder and say open with code, and then it opens it. So it works a lot faster. If you say, well, I don't care, then don't do it. You don't have to. It's just going to make your life a little bit easier. So I don't check the register code as an editor for supported file types. You can check that if you want to too, but I don't check that one. I don't even know why. I just don't. All right. Then next, and now it's telling us everything in here that it's done. So I'm going to say install. And you can see, literally, that's it. I don't need to launch it right now, so I'm just going to uncheck that and click finish. That's it. All right. So that's one of them. And the process, I'm not going to uninstall and reinstall Chrome. I think everybody can do that by themselves with a browser. All right. So literally, like I said, that's it. That's one of the things that we had to do. All right. Now, the other thing that I would like the three of you here to do, because these two have it already, is I would like you first fact, you guys can remove yours because it's probably old. I'm going to go out here again to my control panel. And I'm going to again go out to my programs and features. Again, you guys can do this too if you want to. And I'm going to look in here for Git. Now, I've got version 2.32.0, and it's June of this year, so it's probably either the current one or pretty darn close to it. You probably don't have it in yours. If it'll let you update it, fine. Yeah. Otherwise, you can delete it. So I'm going to delete mine just so we can run through this. So I'm going to uninstall again. See, now I'm being asked. So are you sure you want to completely remove it? Yep. That's it. Now that's gone. All right. And so what I'd like you to do, I've got to remember this. So I think it's gitscm.com. We'll find out. That's it. So that one will be this. And again, you only need the git/scm.com. Git is what's called software versioning. It's I should say versioning software. If you say, I don't know what that means, you'll understand as we start using it. And you use Git in conjunction with a package that's called GitHub. They're not the same thing. All right? But with GitHub, it's going to allow you to copy everything you're working on to the cloud. And the advantage of that is twofold. Number one, I can get to it if you give me an invitation. So that's how I'll grade your stuff. That's the first thing. The second thing is if you forget your computer and you use a different computer or you're at someplace else, you can always bring that down and you can work on it on any computer. So if you go here, all right, let me just do this. Where it says download for Windows, my hope is all of you have a Windows machine, all right, and not a Linux box or a Mac or Apple machine. Now, I had a woman who came through the program a couple of years ago with an Apple machine. She got so frustrated that she switched over to a Windows machine, and I think, Mr. Kottner, you did the same thing last year. He came in here with a Mac, and he changed also, all right? So I'm going to click the download for Windows. All right, and again, it brought it down here. Same thing we saw before. I'm going to right mouse click on it, choose open when done. And I'm going to go through the same steps I did before. Yes. All right, next. Yeah, wherever they tell me it's going to be. And it says it already exists because when I removed it, not all the files got removed. All right, so it says, would you like to install to that folder anyway? Yes. All right, now what's on here, just keep the default stuff. The one that we're going to care the most about is git bash here. That should automatically be checked. All right, and so just leave it alone. There actually is a GUI implementation of this, a graphical one, that's called git GUI. I don't use it. We're going to use the git bash. It's not hard. There's about 5 commands. All right, and I'm going to show you what all of them are. Okay, so I'm going to click next again, and it says it's going to make a folder called Git, which is good. All right, this is a little weird because it says, what editor are you using? You can download and find VS Code. The problem is Git asks you for this, but it never uses it. No one knows why they have this in here. But if you don't believe me and you want to look, you look enough, you look in here, there's Visual Studio Code. You can use that one, but you don't have to. Even if you don't use it, it won't change a flipping thing. All right, but I'm just going to click next. All right, it says let Git decide. I'm going to just choose all the defaults in here. So I'm just clicking my way through and defaulting on everything. And eventually it's going to come up and it's going to say, do you want to install? All right, and I'm going to click install. We're going to do a quick test just to make sure that it worked for you guys. All right, literally it'll take about a minute. This isn't the only way to test, but it's the easiest way to test. All right, All right, I do not want to view the release notes rather. I do not want to launch it, so I'm just uncheck both those and click finish. The easiest way to tell is go to your desktop. You're going to see that. That's my granddaughter. But the easiest way for you to tell with this, if on your desktop, this is where I'm going to do all my work. You can do yours wherever you're comfortable doing it. But if you're on your desktop and you've already got a folder, great. If you don't have a folder, so let's pretend you don't. I'm going to right mouse click and choose new folder. You don't even have to give it a different name. New folder is just fine. All right. But if you click off of it, then if you right mouse click where it says new folder, if one of the things it says is git bash here, you've got it. Everything was set up correctly. Did I say that too fast? Did that make sense? Mason, you understand at least what we're talking about, right? I mean, you'll be able to do both these at home in about 10 minutes. All right? All right. Now, we got 8 minutes, so the other thing I wouldn't mind us doing right now, and I've already got an account here, and I actually tried. I was making a video this summer, and I tried to create another GitHub account. Boy, did that screw with my GitHub. I had to spend a week with people from technical support on GitHub before we finally, hopefully, got it fixed. But what I'd like the rest of you to do, not you two, yours you won't have to touch, all right, is going out to the internet then, I'd like you to go out to github.com. Now, you can see that mine looks way, way different than yours does because I'm logged in already. All right, so I'm going to log out, sign out, whatever. Yours probably looks like this. All right, so when you have that, okay, just click sign up, and it says enter your email. I'm going to ask that you use your Rankin email, even if you've got a Gmail or whatever. It's going to make it easier when we are communicating using GitHub. If you're not sure what your email is, it should be, usually it's your first name underscore your last name at insiderankin.org. It's usually it's something like that. In fact, I probably have yours, so if you don't know, let me know. All right. Now, I'm not going to put this in there because I've already got an account. But I'm going to give you some time to step through there. And if you have any questions, please raise your hand. Now, if you stop for a second, one thing it will ask you is it'll ask you what name you want on here. All right? And I believe like James, I think you have like J. Wharton, Rankin EDU, and I think you just got Nick Kotner. That's fine. It makes it, if you want to make it as easy for me to find you as possible, like for example, do it like I've got mine. So mine is literally, not Jess, it's Jeff Scott Rankin. So if you would make yours basically something like that, your first name, your last name, Rankin, that should be available. Unless you were John Smith and somebody else from Rankin, named John Smith has gone through. All right, but I'd like you to try to step through that, and if you have questions or if something doesn't seem like it works, etc., just let me know. All right. Now, it is 5 minutes to. I asked Mason already with the other two of you, have you guys gotten your badges and your parking pass? Okay. Okay, you've got both of them? Okay, I don't need to see them. That's fine. But I will tell you what you'll want to do. I wouldn't do it now because, like I said, 5 minutes we're going to have that. But I'll try to let you go a little bit early today. And it's right at the end of the hall on the left. That's where the security office is.
I was alive for a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the bad thing is when you got to see the security guy at the beginning of each semester, that's the only time you should have to do this. Unless you lose one of them. I think if you lose a badge or your parking pass, I think it's $5 for a new one. Unless you're an instructor, because I thought I lost mine this summer. And he made me another one. And I went back out to my car, and here it was. I could see it hanging out. It was under the seat. So I just gave it back to him, and this is the one. It's kind of interesting. Mr. Corrigan next door, I've got the baldness. He's got the hair. But his hair is gray, even though he's younger than I am. You look at his badge, and his hair is dark brown. So But he's been here 30 years too. So go through that, and I'm going to try to see if I can log in right now so we can all watch the thing that we're supposed to watch at 9 o'clock. Last thing I'll tell you real quick is, if you look, let's see if I come to here now. I have been taping for 50 minutes, and I will show you by the end of the period, if you haven't seen it already, where the address is for my YouTube channel. And I try to make sure that no later than 24 hours it's turned around. All right. So if I've got time this morning or this afternoon, I will go and I will produce these and put them out there on the channel. All right. So stop this.